Hello sir, welcome to the Physicorum YouTube channel. I am a specialist physiotherapist semi-burecoctum. In this video, I will talk about what a hernia is, the risk factors of a hernia, how a hernia occurs, and the structures in our spine. In order to understand the structure of hernia, we first need to know our spine. Our spine is like a column formed by 33 vertebrae positioned on top of each other. When we examine these vertebrae regionally, 7 of them are located in the neck region, 12 in the back region, and 5 in the lumbar region. Apart from these, 5 of them combine to form the sacrum, and 4 of them combine to form the coccygis. If we start to examine our vertebrae one by one, our vertebrae essentially consist of 2 basic structures. These are the corpus vertebrae and the arcus vertebrae. When corpus vertebrae and arcus vertebrae merge, a hole is formed in the middle. The hole formed is called foramen vertebrae. As I said before, when the vertebrae are positioned on top of each other, the foramen are positioned on top of the vertebrae, and it is clearly seen that there is a canal. This canal is called the spinal canal. As the name suggests, it is located in our spinal cord, which runs from the brain to the coccygis. When we examine our spinal cord, the length of our spinal cord is 70 centimeters for men and 60 centimeters for women. Our spinal cord can fill 2/3 of the spinal canal. 31 pairs of spinal nerves emerge from our spinal cord. When we examine the spinal nerves coming out of our spinal cord regionally, there are 8 pairs of spinal nerves in the neck region, 12 pairs in the back, 5 pairs in the lumbar region, 5 pairs in the sacrum, and 1 pair in the coccygis. Apart from our 31 pairs of spinal nerves, there are 12 pairs of cranial nerves in our body and emerge from the structure we call the brain stem. Another structure that makes up our spine is the discs. When we examine the discs, we see that there are 23 discs between 33 vertebrae. When we examine the discs as a structure, we see that it consists of 2 basic structures. The first of the 2 structures that make up the disc is the shell, which we call the annulus fibrosus, and the other is the nucleus, which we call the nucleus pulposus. When we examine the functions of the 2 structures of the disc, we see that the shell part is to prevent the disc from protruding beyond the limits of the corpus vertebrae and to increase the support surface of the disc by stretching when we lift the load. If we look at our nucleus, which is the other structure of the disc, we see that its task is to increase the mobility of our spine. The core performs this task as follows: it increases our range of motion by moving in the opposite direction of the movement we have made. If we need to give an example of the movement of the core, our core moves backwards when we lean forward, our core moves forward when we stretch backwards, to the left when we stretch to the right, and to the right when we stretch to the left. Now that we've talked about our spinal structures and disc structures, we can now move on to what a hernia is. As a result of the deformity of the facet joints in our spine, micro tears begin to form in the shell of the disc due to the decrease in the flexibility of the disc, the lack of movement, and the effect of the risk factors that I will talk about a little later. The tears in the shell part of the disc increase so much over time that after a certain period of time, the shell part loses its integrity and overflows towards the spinal cord together with the core structure. The core and shell structures overflowing into the spinal canal begin to press on the structures in the spinal cord canal. Depending on the level of the hernia, pain, sensory disturbances, and loss of strength occur in the neck, back, and waist region. We call this structure a hernia. The academic study reveals that 75% of the movements in the waist region are protected from the L5-S1 level, 20% from the L4-L5 level, and 5% from the other protector. In the neck region, the most movement was created at the C5-C6 and C6-C7 levels. This is due to the excess of mobility at the vertebral levels. And together with the risk factors that I will talk about a little later, this display is the most common hernia purchase. The order of the most common areas of hernia is waist region, neck region, back region. The reason for the less behavior of hernias in the back regions compared to other regions is the different extension structures and the support of the spine, known as the ribs among the people, so hernias in the back region are less common. Now that we understand what a hernia is, we can talk about hernia risk factors. The risk factors can be listed as follows: excess weight, working with vibrating tools, pregnancy, lifting heavy loads, traumas, weak neck, back, and waist muscles, engaging in risky sports, smoking, postural disorders. Socioeconomic level, psychosocial factors, and facet joint position disorders after long sittings and long travels can be listed as. I can list the most common hernia risk factors clinically: pregnancy, traumas, lifting heavy loads, weak neck, back and waist muscles, smoking, and facet joint disorders. As everyone knows, there are levels of hernia. These levels are bulging, protrusion, extrusion, and sequestration from the outset. I will talk about the diagnosis, findings, and treatments of hernia levels in detail in my other video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and like the video. We have come to the end of this video. In this video, we talked about what a hernia is, how it occurs, and our spine structures. It should be noted that not every hernia is the cause of neck, back, and low back pain. Differential diagnosis is very important. Do not forget to consult your specialist physician or physiotherapist for the correct differential diagnosis. Thank you for watching me. See you in other videos. Take care.